"I'm your daughter, not your personal ATM," I said, and my mom popped one for me in front of everyone. The whole thing happened at a family dinner, which they forced me to. My father was sitting at the head of the table with a sufficient smile. My brother Ryan squat bored on his phone, and my mom was waving prints for luxury cruise tickets around in front of my face like it was a wedding invitation. "We've been working so hard lately," she said, "and we deserve a break. You should take over, that's only fair. You live alone and have no children." Subscribe to the channel for more shocking revenge stories. Give a like if you believe in karma and share that with someone who needs to see what real retribution looks like. I looked around in disbelief. Fair. After everything I had done for them, after all the times I had taken over their rent, repaired their cars and paid Ron's hospital bills, they actually had the audacity to demand a luxury trip. And not once did they even ask how I was doing. I was silent for a moment, but something was tearing inside me. My mother leaned forward and said, "We have already reserved the suite. You just have to transfer the money tomorrow." My brother laughed at that. "Don't be broke now. Chloe, you have a decent job, don't you? Or is he also fake?" The whole table burst out laughing at me. What they didn't know, the decent job I had was just a facade. I had built something much bigger in the background, something that no one at this table even deserved to know about. But tonight? Oh, tonight they would find out, because they hadn't just crossed the line. They had set the bridge alight behind them, and I did not plan to put out the fire. Not this time. I didn't say a word after dinner. Not when they sent me the link to the cruise with a smiley face. Not when Dad called twice the next morning and asked when I would send the money. And not even when Ryan posted a story on Instagram and blurted, "Vacation is on the way. Thank you, Sister Heart." They really thought they had me in their hands. But that's the thing. As soon as you realize that you are just a wallet for your own family, something changes in you. For years they had called me too sensitive, too dramatic, or just average. When I graduated as the best of the year, they didn't come. When I got my first internship, they said, "Let's see how long this lasts." And when I moved out to make my dream come true, they laughed and told the relatives I would be back home in 6 months. Well, it had been 6 years, and in those 6 years I had built an online empire that no one saw coming. What started as a small side income in digital marketing has quietly exploded into an agency with 7-figure sales with customers all over the country. I kept my name off the website, used a different business email. I even ran everything through a parent company because I knew if my family found out about it, they would try to suck me out. I didn't want to give you that chance. But now they had gone too far, and I wouldn't just say no. I would make sure that they would never forget the moment when they tried to take advantage of me. So I made a plan. First, I called the cruise line. I upgraded your tickets to the VIP class. I even added a few special surprises to your package. Then I gave them the confirmation under the name of a fictitious assistant, Jessica, and left them in the belief that I had finally buckled down. Mom was delighted. She said you were finally acting like family, but she had no idea that she had just agreed to the most expensive humiliation of her life, because the real show hadn't even started yet. 3 days later, my phone was vibrating with messages from the family group chat. "Mom, get on board now. The suite is the madness. You really surpassed yourself. Red heart. Ryan, this whirlpool is bigger than my apartment skull. Dad, proud of you, Chloe. Maybe you're not so selfish after all." Selfish? I'm going to start. They weren't on a luxury trip. They ran right into the lion's den in the middle of my empire because I was the keynote speaker on day 2. My company was the main sponsor. My face, it stuck on every banner, every cocktail napkin, every welcome gift. When Mum wrote to me in confusion, "Chloe, this doesn't look like a normal cruise. All questions and constantly wondering which company we are running," I answered only myself. "Smile, Mom, you'll find out in a minute." And the next morning, when they ran into this huge balsa, filled with hundreds of high-class professionals, who all got up and clapped when I entered the stage, their chins fell on the floor. I was standing in the headlights, in an elegant black suit, the microphone in my hand, and I smiled at her directly. "Before I begin," I said, "I would like to thank 3 people in this room who unintentionally made me who I am today." Their faces turned chalk white, the room dead. I felt her eyes burning on me from the last row. Mom clutched her purse, as if she could protect her from what was coming now. Dee was as if frozen. Ryan nervously checked his phone, as if it could teleport him away from there. But I didn't bat an eyelid. These 3 people, I continued, never supported my dreams. On the contrary, they mocked me, took advantage of me, and made me feel worthless. They told me I was going to fail. They laughed when I started my business in a tiny apartment and ate instant noodles just to save enough for my first advertising campaign. The audience hung on my lips. A few heads turned to my family. The camera crew slowly swung over the crowd, and every reaction was broadcast live on the huge LED screen behind me. They made me feel like a burden, but accidentally, they made me a gift. They taught me to work in silence, how to turn pain into drive, how to build something that no one can take away from you. The crowd burst into applause. My mother's face was flushed crimson. My father tried to seem cool, as if he was not sweating blood and water. Ryan, he suddenly took a burning interest in the buffet. Then came the real sting. And to thank you, I took a break and let it calm down again. I gave you this cruise, a place in the front row to see what success really looks like. And as a reminder, the next time you try to humiliate someone, make sure that this person is not secretly building an empire. You could hear the rustling going through the room. People turned around and stared. My family looked like they had seen a ghost, but I wasn't done yet. After the speech, a queue of people formed who wanted to meet me. Business cards, praise, photo wishes. I walked past my family as if they didn't exist, but just before I left the ballroom, I turned around and said loud enough that she and the whole room could hear it. Enjoy your luxury trip. It's the last thing you'll ever get from me. Her humiliation was complete. I thought that they would leave the ship ahead of time, hide in their cabin, or sink into the ground with shame. But no, my mother had the audacity to address me at the private dinner reception that evening. She was wearing pearls and a fake smile. "Chloe, you shouldn't have embarrassed us like that," she said. Her voice trembled barely noticeably. "You could have told us. We are your family." I sipped my wine calmly. Family does not manipulate. Family does not steal, and family does not treat you like a piggy bank. Date turned on with a tired laugh. "Come on, honey. It was just a vacation. You are successful now. What are a few $1,000s for you?" Then I pulled out the envelope. It contained a listing of every single dollar I had spent on her over the years. Rent, medical bills, broken cars, last-minute emergencies, birthday gifts that I could hardly afford at the time. It was over $7,000 in total. I put the envelope on the table and said, "You want to talk about a few thousand? Start with this." My brother scoffed. "Wow, you picked up the receipts." I leaned forward, looked him straight in the eye, and said, "No, I kept the memories. The receipts were just easier to show." He rolled his eyes. "And now you're going to steal the money from us now?" I smiled. "No, Ryan, I canceled it for you years ago. You just didn't realize it because you were too busy pretending to be better than me." Mum's hands were shaking now. "But you can't just erase us from your life. We are blood relatives." So I got up, took my things, and looked at them one last time. You are right. Blood relationship is permanent. But access must be earned. Then I turned around and left, not with anger, not even with pain, but with power. I spent the rest of the cruise surrounded by people who respected me, who saw me as a leader, who didn't try to take me out, but wanted to learn from me. I managed Panos, gave interviews, closed deals.